Alrighty, I am joined by former Major League outfielder and World Series champion with the New York Yankees. He is now a special advisor to Yankees general manager and an all-star FS1 analyst on Fox Sports 1. He hit 20 or more home runs 9 years in a row with a career 799 OPS. Nick Swisher, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
Baby, I'm doing great, my man. Happy to be here, bro. Thank you so much for the warm intro.
All righty. So I want to start by showing you this video. This was April 13th, 2009. I'm sure you remember this. And I want to show you, and I want to show all of you who may watch this later on or listen to this. You can listen to it, but I want to see how much you remember of this outing.
Who's going to the mound, but seen their pitchers throw tonight. There's a wave.
Oh yeah, high cheese, Gabe. Where you at, Gabe?
You're the dummy. And a big league pop up again by Pena.
I think you got hit that off the field.
Is there to make the catch. And a fly ball lifted toward left center. Caught out there by the center fielder Gardner to retire the side.
Couldn't believe it, bro. Couldn't believe it.
A scoreless inning for Nick Swisher, the position player. How about that? So I want to ask, so you struck out Gabe Kapler with a country fastball, high cheese, nothing better. Have you ever seen Gabe Kapler since then and kind of poke fun at him about that?
Plenty, bro. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm always have been a big fan of Gabe. I thought he did a great job at Philly. I think he's doing a great job at San Francisco. Gabe and I got the chance to work with Fox. We did the World Series together back in 2014. And so that was kind of my first real interactions with him, like where we're hanging out like every day, kicking it, hanging out. And Gabe's an intense guy, man. He works hard at everything he does. And I gained a lot of respect for him because I appreciate that hard work. And that's what he's all about.
Yeah, and the Giants were one game away from going to the postseason last year, and with a team that everyone, a lot of people thought was going to be one of the worst teams in baseball. So definitely think he's doing a great job there.
Yeah, how many times? And think of on top of everything that they're dealing with, just getting at home in San Francisco at the time. I mean, that was kind of one of the real, kind of spots that got hit pretty hard, and for them to go out and to do what they did last year. I mean, hats off to those guys, no doubt.
Yeah, and especially replacing with the great Bruce Boccia, who had just done such
epic legend, bro. Job. Legend, right? Legend.
Absolutely. How many times after that did you go up to Joe Girardi asking for the baseball?
None, bro. I didn't want to ruin a good thing, bro. I was like, listen, I got my chance, bro. I got out there. I got it. 0.00 ERA. Let's shut it down. Don't take me out there anymore. Calling Gardy or Melky or somebody. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of crazy how that all happened, and just the 2009 season for myself personally, as well as like the team. Oh, bro. I mean, started off the first road trip, bro. I'm pitching for the Yankees. I'm like, bro, what's happening to me? You know what I mean? So to be able to do that and to come back home and to experience New York, bro, was just so badass, man. I was so lucky to be a part of all that.
So I want to ask you about that, because a lot of people say that playing with the Yankees is above and beyond playing for any other organization in baseball. What is it about the New York Yankees organization that people just love about that, want to be there as compared to some of the other teams you played for?
I don't know. I think the pride, the passion, the tradition, the pinstripes, baby. I mean, there's like so much history that goes into that. And think about all the legends that came before you. For myself, I was just like, wow, bro, it feels like I must be in heaven, bro, because this has to be it. I think the attention to detail, there's just so many people. It's such a family-run organization, and I think if you look at it, man, it's all about the relationships you have with people. And for the Steinbrenner family to do everything that they've done, whether it's George or, Hal to doing what he's doing now, they know what they need to have to succeed, and they've got a great product. It's been a little bit since they've won, but that's all right, man, because they're knocking on the door each and every year with a competitive team. One small break, bro, that championship's coming right back to the Bronx.
I'm hoping it's 2021. That's the year that the Yankees come back. Tell me about 2009, because, you're going into the new stadium, new Yankee Stadium, after they tear down the old stadium. It's kind of like this transition, some people say, of, well, the dynasty is over and now they're moving into this new era of Yankees baseball. And then I remember you guys actually struggled in the first month and a half of that season, but then just got on a roll as the season went along. Tell me about that season and what kind of run you guys went on and how that felt.
Yeah, it felt great, man. I think it definitely took a little bit of time for all of us to gel together. But I mean, if you're thinking about it, bro, that's practically a brand new team over there, right? You brought myself, Mark Teixeira, CC Sabathia, AJ Burnett, a lot of other pieces that came along with that. Obviously, you had the core four, which, obviously all legendary and Hall of Famers, the whole nine. But it definitely did take a little bit of time for us to gel together. You're right, dude. For the first couple of months, bro, we were getting beat pretty good. It wasn't until, historically, I think everybody's going to remember in Atlanta when the season kind of really turned itself around. But I think if you look at that lineup top to bottom, we had 4 switch hitters. We had Mark Teixeira, A-Rod, Robbie Cano, Jeter, like
it's the squad.
I mean, come on, bro. Like, we were rolling out an A squad every day. So, to be able to have the leadership we had with, guys like Jeter and Posada and Pettit and Mariano, I mean, that's legendary stuff, bro. Like, not many people get the opportunity to be in a locker room like that. So I think for myself, man, I could not have been more blessed to be able to be around those guys, to develop relationships with those guys, and to learn from those guys as well.
Don't forget the big workhorse, CC Sabathia.
Oh, bro, for sure. I mean, come on, man. I mean, CC, he's jacked now, bro. Have you seen him lately, bro? I'm like, man, I need to get on what he's on, bro, for real.
He could come back as a lefty specialist, I think, and pitch for someone. I mean, get him out of the bullpen.
Either that or a left-handed power hitter right now, bro. He's ready. He's ready.
Right. No kidding. I was waiting for him to hit that home run in interleague play when he was with the Yankees.
I know. All you got to do is a big guy like that, he's got to make contact.
Yeah. I want to ask the pie. 2009, you guys go with the pie. You had like 15 walk-offs that year, and then you had a couple more in the postseason. Did you ever run out of pie?
No way, dude. Are you kidding me? Half of those were shaving cream. Half of those were whipped cream. It just depended on what was available at the time, Because you got to remember, man, like that sort of stuff didn't happen in the Bronx back in the day. It was a more buttoned up organization. It was more, like real kind of more stuffy. And it wasn't until, AJ Burnett ran down to the tunnel, bro.
Yeah.
Just shaving cream pie that styrofoam plate up. And from there, it just kind of like let everyone enjoy it a little more. Have a little more fun. It didn't seem as rigid anymore. And I think due to that, guys let their hair down a little bit more, and they were able to kind of be themselves. And, listen, man, I know it's about talent winning a World Series, but it's about that cohesiveness, that family type atmosphere that you have in that locker room. And when everybody's able to be themselves, that's a very powerful place to be. So for myself, as well as, AJ and CC, we were able to be ourselves. Johnny Damon at the time. It's like, dude, we could be ourselves. And you didn't feel bad about that. And that was a great feeling to be able to have in that locker room.
Did anyone not want to get the shaving cream or whipped cream to the face? Was there anyone that you were going to have to chase all around the field until you finally got him?
Yeah, maybe A-Rod, bro. Maybe we have to go chase A-Rod down a little bit. But at the end of the day, we get him, though.
Yeah. A-Rod is also at Fox Sports 1 for those who don't know. Okay. I want to talk about the transition from playing to now in your analyst role at Fox Sports 1. You just mentioned you got to do the World Series in 2014. Gabe Kapler's alongside between the Giants and the Royals. What's that transition like? Because we've seen a lot of players move from the field to either the broadcast booth or the anchor desk themselves. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, retirement, it sucks, bro. It's tough. It's hard, right?
You want to get out there and play, right?
Yeah. For myself, it's like, listen, you're blessed to have this love, this passion, this like excitement for something in your life. And for myself, bro, I'm a ridiculously competitive person, bro. Even with my 2 little girls, like we can be playing checkers or whatever, baby, but I'm coming for you, That's just my mentality. That's the way I'm made up. And when all of that is taken away from you, there's a feeling, there's a sense of like loneliness. You don't quite know exactly who you are, right? And then, it took me about a good month to really get off the couch and realize that, baseball didn't define me. It doesn't define me. It was just something that I did. So for myself, bro, being able to have a wife and friends in my life, a village of people that care for me, that are looking out for me. Like, bro, if it wasn't for them, man, I don't know where I'd be. I was in a dark spot. That's a tough thing to get over. But I also had a plan, bro. Like retirement didn't sneak up on me. It's like I knew it was coming, right? I had those surgeries in 2014, and bro, from there, man, it was a quick downhill plummet, bro, to the bottom, you know? So for myself, I knew it was coming. And even though it's sad to see it go, you got to keep moving. Listen, bro, I retired at 36 years old. Like in the grand scheme of things, that's a puppy dog, right? In the world. So for myself, I have so many amazing things that I want to still accomplish in my life. I think the biggest thing that I would tell, veteran players, listen, plan for retirement, right? You know it's coming. You can tell. Your body knows what's happening, right? At some point, the game's going to go away. Make sure you have some hobbies. Make sure you have some things in your life to fill the void of baseball. Because if you don't, I mean, bro, it's a tough thing to get over.
Yeah. Is one of the things on your bucket list to hit a home run in an old timers game?
Yeah, already done, baby.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just see Jeff Nelson the other day, bro. That's funny you say that.
Man, hitting a home run in Old Timers Day, and we need to get the lights and the home run siren going for all that too, because you got to make it feel like you're back out there playing. It's like, dude, I just hit a bomb in the right field bleachers.
Oh, bro, that was so amazing,
creatures.
dude. I mean, even when I was in New York, right? I mean, every Old Timers Day was one of my favorite days of the year because, bro, listen, man, I'm a very respectful guy. I mean, I do things for people after me, right? I understood the guys that played before me. I understood what it meant to put the pinstripes on every day. And so to be able to meet all those guys and to rub elbows with them and to develop these awesome relationships I have with people like Bucky Dent and, Willie Randolph, you know what I'm saying? And like Ron Guidry, right? Like all these amazing guys that I talk to all the time now. Like, bro, that was amazing. And to be part of it myself, to put that uni back on and to get announced one more time, bro, run out of the dugout, bro, pumping up the crowd. I mean, it's such a good feel-good day and blessed that I could be part of that.
Every Old Timers game, there's not another place in the world where there's that much baseball talent all on one field together. It's pretty amazing. And I love Old Timers Day as well. I want to get to where we are as a game today. Were analytics a huge part of when you were playing? And if so, what were the main things that you guys focused on as players in terms of sabermetrics and analytics? And now compared to now in 2021, where it seems like analytics are just completely running the game of baseball.
Yep, definitely. I mean, analytics were definitely a part of the game. They weren't as apparent as they are now, or as closely followed as they are now. But you got to remember, bro, like I was drafted in 2002, Moneyball, bro. Like that was the beginning of analytics. I mean, Billy Beane had an idea of what he thought would be successful. And listen, bro, since, early 2000, he'd been putting out a great product, a competitive product for a very little payroll. So definitely analytics works. It all depends on finding that algorithm for your organization that allows you to find players that work best in your system. So for somebody like me, I want to have the old school and I want to have the new school, right? Listen, bro, like I've got the old school, like mentality, like get down, get dirty, work hard, grind it out. But I also want to be able to take the analytical side of things to utilize that in players' games, to let them understand like, hey, man, listen, if we change this, then we can get this, right? Or make an adjustment on this. Because I think that's half the battle, is finding out what analytical stats work best for you or what best stats can help you further your career. Look at what happened with a guy like Garrett Cole, bro. Like he left Pittsburgh. He was really good. But then all of a sudden he goes to Houston, understands what he's doing, has a better idea of it. And all of a sudden he's one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball. So I think for myself, I think it would be nice to have all that information. But I think also understanding how I could utilize it to my game would be my biggest battle.
And we saw what happened with Blake Snell in the World Series. And that brings me to my next question. Is it overtaking the game? Is it taking kind of that old school realm of thinking out of the game from these managers? And do you think that the pressure from the front office to use these numbers in analytics to drive decisions could potentially be hurting the game?
I don't know. I mean, time will tell, right? I mean, for myself, I want to be a big league manager, right? I want to be part of this game moving forward. So at the end of the day, whatever's happening in the game, baby, I'm down with it, right? Like whatever I have to learn, whatever I have to do to continue to be part of it, then that's what I want to do. For myself, I definitely think that, last year with the decision that Kevin Cash made to take out Blake Snell, I think that was a big eye opener for the entire world of like, wow, you can't go all one way, right? You can't go all analytics and you can't go all old school. I feel like you have to have a decent mix of both, right? This is a game of baseball. We need to have baseball people in the game. So I think last year really kind of brought the conversation up with what we're talking about now. So I definitely think you got to have a little bit of both, right? Got to have a feel for what's happening in the game. But that was definitely a great learning experience for a lot of people, no doubt.
On December 23rd, 2012, you signed a 4-year, $56 million deal with the Cleveland Indians. So the Yankees then received a compensation draft pick in the 2013 draft, and they drafted a guy named Aaron Judge. Do you take full credit for everything Aaron Judge does for the Yankees now?
I'm the gift that keeps on giving, kid, for real, man. No doubt, right? Like, come there, hang out, win a World Series, have fun for 4 years, all of a sudden give you Aaron Judge, like, here you go. No, man, I just think that, for somebody like him, a once-in-a-generational type player, just to be able to have that raw size and that raw power. For myself, bro, I mean, it's just been cool to get to know him, man. He's just a big kid. He's a lovable kid. And for me, man, I'm like this smaller, older brother, right? That's looking down, just, wanting him to do as best he can and succeed in everything he does in life. Because, bro, it's so crazy, man. Like, now that I'm back here and I'm on the other side of the game, you lose that venom, right? Like, there's not as much competition base. Now it's like, wow, man, like, even the grudges you'd hold against guys, I don't have that stuff anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now it's like, man, I want all these guys to do well, man. I want all these guys to kick ass. I want all these guys to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff, because when you're not competing against everybody else, man, it's way easier for, at least for myself, opening up and getting a greater perspective of things. So for me, man, I want everybody to kick ass and do their thing, just because right now I understand as an analyst, sometimes when you go up in the box, it's a lot easier to watch the game from up there than it is in the batter's box. Sometimes us as analysts, we need to remember that because, hey, man, it is what it is.
Well, and the pitching is better than it's ever been. The hitting is better than it's ever been. And I think with the use of analytics, you are getting pitchers to focus on those small things like the spin rate on your breaking ball, or, where to release on a fastball and all that. And it's just making the pitching so much better. I mean, everybody throws 100 miles an hour now.
So much more precise, so much more, of an understanding of how to get guys out. I mean, it's impressive, bro, because listen, man, like, everything's the same. You get on the mound at 60 feet, 6 inches away. The strike zone's the same all the time. But as a hitter, man, it's like, wow. Now for us, it's like, how do we come back off that? Like, what's our move, right? I mean, the last thing I would want to do is, kind of in the game of baseball, it's either a home run or a punch out right now. Yeah. I've seen David Ortiz was saying that, baseball's boring, right? It sucks because there's only one type of hitter out there. I'm interested to see what's going to happen, right, with the deadening of the baseballs this year, because listen, bro, like, I remember how hard it was to hit home runs when I was playing. And all of a sudden I'm seeing leadoff guys going way back, bro, on a regular. So I'm thinking to myself, like, now it's going to be interesting on how we look at power, right? We looked at power before, like 30 home runs, 40 home runs. I'm interested to see where that number is this year. I know the velocity's up, but I'm telling you, man, these balls last year were like ping pong balls, golf balls flying out of there. So had to do something. So I'm interested to see how this season is going to go down, man. I'm excited for it to get going.
Oh, I am too. I want to talk about the Yankees really quickly because over the past 4 years, they've had some really heartbreaking eliminations, losing in Game 7 to Houston, the Altuve walk-off, losing to Tampa Bay last year, losing to your arch rivals in 2018. What do you think's been their biggest issue when they get into these elimination games, when things counter and when things are at its highest peak?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish I could put my finger on it. I would have already solved that problem, bro. Right? Like, it's just, it is what it is. You're looking for that one hit, right? That one great defensive play, like, the whole nine, the thing that they just, haven't been able to get over that hump. Now, listen, man, you look at that roster and you look in that locker room, the talent they have is off the charts.
They're loaded.
So it's all about finding something on the inside that can really get those boys to where they want to go. Because for myself, man, I would definitely say it's the camaraderie. I definitely would say it's the relationships you have in that locker room with your brothers in there, right? The guys that you're taking the field of battle with each and every day. Like, I know analytics or something, but hey, those X factors, man, that means something, no doubt. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree.
One of these days, bro, I don't care. When I'm a manager, bro, I'm going to bring some glue guys in there, some locker room guys, because you got to have that, man. The game is too crazy. It's too intense. You need some fun guys to really break it down and let people enjoy that. So I think maybe that could be it. I mean, I don't think it's talent. Definitely it's not power, because we got a whole lot of that. I think it's just, just getting that one little hit, man, to get us over the hump and put us in that championship ring again.
Where do you see their pitching lining up right now with Cole, Kluber, Tyone, Montgomery, and Herman, and they'll get Luis Severino back mid-season? Do you think that this is the pitching that can get them to a World Series? We've seen the pitching kind of fluctuate over the past few years. You think this is the group if Kluber and Tyone can stay healthy, if Severino can come back and give them a good half season? Is this the year that the pitching can finally put them over the top?
Well, I think it's going to have to be, right? I mean, like, these are the guys we got, right? Like, I think you mentioned David Garcia, right? He can come in there and do a tremendous job, right? I mean, like, he's definitely got the swag and he's got the want to be there. So I think there's a lot of interesting pieces that have to fall into place. Obviously, Kluber's health, coming back, missing all last year after that first start. I mean, Corey's a great friend of mine, dude. I want him to kick ass, dude. I want him to do his thing, right? And you got Tyone as well, right? It's interesting to see how he's going to come back. So I think Jordan Montgomery, I think he's kind of a staple, right? You know what he's going to give you. Nothing overpowering, but he's going to go out there. He's a bulldog. Clark Schmidt getting banged up early this year, man, that's kind of crazy. So, I mean, I definitely think it's going to have to be. I think these are the guys that they're rolling with. And if you can toss it over to the back end of that bullpen, guys like Chad Green and, Zach Britton and Arald is shutting it down. I mean, you feel pretty good about your chances. So I definitely think starting pitching is definitely going to be under the radar this year. But I think health is also key for them as well.
Fernando Tatis got that big $340 million deal.
Hey, let's go, man. Give me that money, bro.
You're the one that said kick ass and get paid.
That's it,
Fernando Tatis. There we go.
Big time.
But what is interesting, I saw that contract and I'm thinking, well, okay, he's a very good player. He very well could be a star in this league. In my opinion, I thought, well, maybe it's a little early to give him that much money and that amount of years. Do you see it that way, or do you see the Padres just getting ahead of the inevitable, in 3 or 4 years down the road?
I guess I can see both sides of it, right? I mean, one great year and you roll out the red carpet. I mean, back in the day, you'd have to have guys do that for 3 or 4 years before they got that big payday. But even for myself, looking at it from the analyst side, listen, I'm very quick to give guys praise, right? I'm very quick to talk about futures with young players and what they're capable of doing. I think at the end of the day, it's a business decision. Right? You got to understand, like 14 years, bro, that's longer than my career, bro. Like, that's crazy town. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's out of control. But at the end of the day, like, hey, maybe they'll be the one that's laughing at us after he hits 40 home runs for the next 8 years. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you definitely have to pay for the product. It is interesting to see these contracts as big as they are. And we didn't even have the fans in the stands last year. So, I mean, the owners are definitely making money. And they definitely need to continue to keep throwing it out there and getting these guys paid because, I was in my mind, I was a tier B type of guy, right? Like I wasn't an all-star every year, but I was right underneath those guys. And guys like me, we got paid. I don't think that's the case anymore, right? That player B or that B level guy, he's not getting paid anymore. Those top percent guys are getting the money. So I just think at the end of the day, man, I'm so happy for Fernando, bro. Taking care of his family for life, baby, no doubt. And at the end of the day, the excitement he brought to San Diego, maybe that pays for itself.
I think the Padres are going to be probably the most fun team to watch in baseball this year. I can't wait.
They were that way last year.
Yeah. I can't wait to see them and the Dodgers go at it and, kind of see who the top dog is. Obviously the Dodgers, the defending world champs, but then you got this kind of young up and coming roster that made the playoffs last year and they faced the Dodgers. They lost to them, obviously, but I think this is a team that's knocking on the door of the Dodgers window right there.
Yeah, they kind of got that little brother syndrome a little bit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of like, man, we got to beat them. We have to beat them, right? Lost to them in the playoffs. We're going to play them 18 times this year. So now I'm interested to see that, bro, especially with the Trevor Bauer sign. Like, wow, that's a huge sign for the Dodgers, man. And I know he's a UCLA guy. You know, he feels like he's back home, and he's tremendous. But I'm telling you, man, Yu Darvish, bro, Blake Snell, you know, Clevenger's on the shelf. He's going to be coming back. I mean, you know, Lamet. I mean, come on, bro. Like, that staff is impressive. You go in there, you get a couple hits as a visitor, you're feeling good about that series.
Absolutely. It's going to be such a fun race to watch in the NL West. I can't wait for it. I want to talk about some of the things that baseball implemented last year and see if they, in your opinion, could continue this expanded postseason. We haven't seen them make that announcement yet if they're going to do that for 2021. That last year, they waited until like 2 hours before the first game to announce that was going to happen in 2020. Right. Do you see that potentially happening again where MLB at the last minute decides to expand the postseason to maybe 6 or 7 teams per league again?
Yeah, so I look at it from both sides. I mean, last year was amazing, right? Because when I look at the Major League playoffs, it looks like a March Madness bracket, right? And so I'm like, bro, I love that, right? I love filling out my brackets, right? I thought it was so amazing. The one thing that I can understand is the players aren't seeing a whole lot of money from all that. So I get that. But at the end of the day, as a fan, I'm like, bro, expanded rosters, expanded postseason, baby, give it all to me because I want to see our best players play in the game, whether they're making money or not. But I'm not in it anymore, right? I'm more in it as a fan, right? Like I want to see our best players play. I want to see Mike Trout back in the playoffs again, right? I think last year, I think we saw how much fun the postseason can actually be once we get it going. Because come on, man, that Rays Dodgers World Series was fun to watch. There was a lot of excitement. I mean, obviously the Dodgers finally getting over the hump after those 2 years back to back. But man, with what the Rays did last year, that was a lot of fun to watch as well.
And that game 4, just the most was that the craziest ending you've ever seen?
Pretty crazy, bro. Like, it's funny, man. I always think to myself, man, I've seen it all, right? Like, I'm 40 years old, bro. I played in the big leagues for 13 seasons, college ball, Legion ball, elementary school ball, like practically my whole life. But bro, something happens every year where I'm like, WTF, what was that, bro? You know what I mean? Like, how does that even happen?
Yeah, it's crazy. 7-inning doubleheaders. A lot of people kind of go back and forth on this saying, well, 7-inning doubleheaders, that's not real baseball. But then in other ways, it works because throughout the course of a 162-game regular season, you could be protecting players from injuries and you're saving them 4 innings of play over the course of a doubleheader. How do you see that going forward?
Takes me back to college, bro. I love it. I love the 2 7-inning doubleheaders. I think it's great. I also think to myself, man, if I'm a starting pitcher, baby, all I got to do is throw 7 of these things for a shutout, bro, like a complete game. Like, let's go. Like, you know, I think they're definitely going to have to do the stat sheet a little differently, right? Because it's going to be different. But at the end of the day, man, like Bruce Lee said, baby, you got to be like water. You got to be fluid, right? We got to be able to move. We got to be able to kind of go with the times. Listen, man, we don't have to keep beating our heads against the wall, doing the same thing year after year. We can change some things up. Change is good. That's cool. So I love them, bro. I love the fact that they're protecting the players a little more. And also too, man, listen, with TV contracts and things like that, they're trying to get the games over before they can anyways.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see that. I think we will see. I think they actually already announced the 7-inning doubleheaders are coming back. So I'm very interested to see how that affects things over the course of a 162-game season. The collective bargaining agreement is up after this year, and we saw the bad blood once again between the owners and the Players Association kind of negotiate this 2020 season, you know, whether it's the prorated salaries, how many games are we going to play, and all of that. I'm afraid that we're going to see a lockout or a strike after this season. Do you feel the same way?
I mean, you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, some things are going to have to change. I think last year was almost kind of set the battlegrounds for what's going to happen this offseason. You know, we've already seen some players start to talk about, you know, everything would happen with the, the Mariners CEO or the general manager when he was, I mean, come on, bro. Like what is going on, right? So at the end of the day, like some things definitely need to change for sure. And like you said, man, you know, the union, bro, I mean, we're strong. There's no doubt about that. So at the end of the day, if it's not what it's going to be best for the players and the game itself, there very well could be a lockout.
You're an Ohio State guy. Is Justin Fields the real deal?
Oh, baby, OH, man. I hope, you know what? I hope he gets picked up by the Falcons where they got like the 4th pick or something. I hope he gets picked up, bro. Sit behind, Matty Ice for a couple years, learn the system, get yourself set up, bro. Because look at Aaron Rodgers, sat a couple years behind Brett Favre.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden, bro, learned the system, did his thing. So I think that's the biggest thing is, athletically, I think there's nobody better. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is pretty impressive himself. Yeah. But at the end of the day, learning that pro system has to be so complicated, man. You learned a whole thing at college, and now it's on another level as a professional. So I think to be able to get behind a starter that's already there, might have a year or two left, could be the best thing ever. Obviously not, because you want to play and you want to get out there, but to be able to learn the game only helps in the long run.
Yeah, he was definitely so much fun to watch, even after this shortened season with the Big Ten. Got Ohio State to the national championship game.
Oh, yeah. How dominant were they against Clemson, bro, in that semifinal game, bro?
That was unbelievable watching that.
That was amazing, bro. I'm watching the game like, no way this is happening. Because that was the only team I didn't want to play. Listen, Clemson puts it on us pretty good, or they have.
The year before, yeah.
And for us to be able to go back and do what we did, man, wow, that was amazing. We don't need to talk about the national championship. We can stop after that great semifinal win,
Hey, they got there after getting the revenge over the Clemson Tigers. And you beat Trevor Lawrence.
Huge, bro. Big time.
I think on Trevor Lawrence's, 1 or 2 losses over the course of his entire carear.
Yeah.
OSU gave him one of them.
That's right, man. We put it on him and beat him good, too, bro. Beat him good.
That's right. All right. I have a couple rapid fire. I'm sure you've been on Intentional Talk. I'm a huge fan of that show. Kevin Millar, the great Kevin Millar, did it.
Oh, yeah, bro. He's amazing.
In fact, I saw him on Twitter in a Yankee hat the other day, so that was awesome to see. I got a couple rapid fire here, and just here we go. Dream FS1 crew you want to work with?
Wow, man. Dream FS1 crew. Man, I love my boy Frank. Frank Thomas, bro. It's fantastic, bro. We get along great. Always have. I think it'd be pretty cool to bring my dad on there too. He's got a great perspective of the game. He was a catcher. He knows it. And then Eric Karros, bro. Eric Karros is amazing. But my boy Kevin Burkhardt, he's got to lead the crew, bro.
Kevin.
He's fantastic. Him and my boy Mike Hill, one of the two.
He is awesome. All right. Best hair in Major League Baseball right now.
Man, might be Fernando Tatis Jr., bro. He's got the dreads, he got the tips and everything, bro. Like, he's feeling good. He got $340-some million worth of that. Wow.
A lot of money to spend on that hair, right? Keep that hair nice and fresh, right?
That's it, baby. Keep looking good, kid. Feel good, play good.
Best batting stance in baseball right now.
Mm-hmm. Best batting stance in baseball right now. Man. That's hard. I'm trying to think of one that really kind of like stands out, like a Yuri Gurriel or something like that.
Yeah, there have been some good ones back in the day, but now it's a lot more simplified, right?
Yeah, well, now, guys know better, right? You don't need all that movement, right? Because you don't have a lot of time once that ball releases his hand. The Julio Franco days are way gone, bro. You're not going to be able to get the bat there. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think batting stances have definitely simplified. I don't know, man. Old school, man. Ken Griffey Jr. comes to mind, bro. That was like one of the best,
And the sweetest swing probably in the history of baseball.
Bro. Oh, yeah.
He was unreal. Okay. If you were still playing, who's the player you would most want to play with right now?
Want to play with?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Or you can name however many you want.
I don't know. Obviously, I'd love to be part of the Bronx Bombers, bro, just to be able to create, just to be part of that murderer's row. Oh, man, just to throw a switch hitting bat in that lineup, dude. So many guys in that lineup to protect you. I don't know, man, but it'd be fun to be with the Dodgers, too, man. That's a fun team. Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger. Wow. Clayton Kershaw, a legend. Wow, that could be a fun team to play for, too.
I could see Swish hitting 30 bombs in the Short Porch Yankee Stadium.
That's it. You know it, baby. Pull side, baby, all day.
30 bombs, maybe a couple in the right center field bullpen. Maybe give the bleacher creatures a couple out there.
You, bro, giving those souvenirs to the fans.
All right, last one. Favorite city you traveled to while traveling on the road?
Sleeper city, bro. And, maybe not right now, but back in the day, Seattle, bro, was one of my favorite places to go. Right? You just go down to the fish market every morning, bro. Boys slinging the fish. I used to buy everything from lobsters to scallops to, and take it to the ballpark. And my boy Kenny was on the visiting side. He was the chef. He'd cook up all that food for us, man. So we had food for days. So Seattle was definitely one of my favorite places to go. I loved the city. I loved hitting in that ballpark. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite spots for sure.
Seattle. Nice. You were fed well, I guess, whenever you went and played the Mariners. So
That's
that
it,
sounds
baby.
great.
Always, bro.
Nick, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for doing this, and look forward to watching you on FS1, and really looking forward to this 2021 season.
Awesome, Mike. No doubt, baby. Hey, man, thanks for having me on, and best of luck to you in the future, my man. Go out there and do what you want, man. Go get it, bro. Don't let nobody tell you can't, man. Keep grinding, stick to the grindstone, baby, and go out and do what you want, big man.
Nick, thanks. Appreciate it, man.
All right, brother. You got it, baby. Take care of yourself, okay?
Thanks.